Oh, hello there. It's Effie from the internet, from wrestling, and you are watching Cole TV.
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we talk about everything that happened this past week in the world of professional wrestling. I'm Xlj the Og, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, this week hailing from the Isle of Tonga, one Mr. B-Roll. How are you?
Yes, indeed, DDO. Yes, I am going to say this week especially I am glad for pro wrestling and that we get to talk about
No
pro
kidding,
wrestling.
right? Yes, our show focused specifically on pro wrestling. We know it was a tough week for a lot of you out there, and you know, we don't talk politics on this show, but we do want to say each and every one of you, our hearts are with you. We love you all. We're gonna get through this together. I know, you know, you can say it till you're blue in the face of rah rah. We'll just pick things up, but I promise you, like you can't crush the human spirit. So
That is right, and we are gonna stop
with
that.
love.
We're gonna stop that right there because people right here are tuning in. They want to think about pro wrestling for 1 hour, and 1 hour is what we're gonna give them. Gosh darn it. We can be just a little bit of a distraction.
That's what brings us all together.
amidst-
It's pro wrestling.
Yes. So I think, you know what? We're gonna do 75 episodes into this.
Yeah, it's
We're
our
gonna
75th episode tonight. How is that?
we're gonna do something new. I am gonna give you the honor of saying the line.
Oh, really? Well, and the clock starts now. Ooh, that felt nice.
Ooh.
Well, our top story this week is the Wednesday Night Wars return for just one night only, as NXT and Dynamite went up against each other head to head. Of course, NXT had a very special episode from the original ECW arena, the 2300 arena, and of course, Dynamite on that road to Full Gear. What did you think of this past Wednesday? Because both shows were great.
Yeah, both shows were great. It was really weird on Tuesday not having anything to do, honestly.
I mean, we know what was going on, but I mean, yeah, it was weird for us wrestling fans. Like, I don't have any wrestling to watch. What's going on here? What's up with this? Oh,
yeah.
But nonetheless, for one night only, we did get the Wednesday Night Wars. But both these episodes were tremendous. But let's get right into them. And of course, we got to talk about that NXT from the ECW arena that was loaded from top to bottom, and so many great ECW originals making an appearance and whatnot. From start to finish, this show was amazing. What did you think of NXT from this past Wednesday night, my friend?
I think it was exactly what I thought it would be in the best way possible. Lots of feel good moments, if you will, and I'm glad they embraced the ECW, if you will.
Yeah, I fully did not expect Nunzio in ring, which I love to see that. Former little Guido, of course, he'll always be a little Guido to me, damn it. Going up against Tony D'Angelo in kind of a passing of the torch moment, I guess, between Italian studs, I guess. But man, I gotta tell you though, Guido looked great. That man is timeless. He was phenomenal in the ring. It was just great to see him back in the ring. Also, speaking back in the ring, how about the Man Beast Rhino showing up to deliver a gore? That was awesome. Cool to see him come over, of course, from TNA, but we know we got that loving relationship with TNA and NXT going on right now, my friend. But my biggest takeaway from this show is the best matches. It started and it finished the show. And we talk about it time in and time out. The best women's division in professional wrestling right now is in NXT. And you had a hell of an opener kicking you off with Jada Parker going up against Lola Fice in a hardcore match with Dawn Marie as the special referee, by the way, which I absolutely adore her. And it was great seeing her. And she looks great, too, by the way. That's another one. That woman hasn't aged a bit. Love the opening contest, man, and I think they're really just getting started in this Lola Fice Jada Parker rivalry. Of course, big win for Jada Parker too. Was a little surprised with that, but I'm happy to see that nonetheless. What do you think of that hardcore match to kick off the show?
I think it. So definitely, starting strong, set the tone for the whole show, and like we say all the time, it's the best women's division wrestling. So
absolutely,
why not start out with a strong hand? So
heck yeah, brother. And of course, we also got to talk about that big tag match with Ridge Holland picking up a win on Trick Williams getting the pin. So it looks like Ridge Holland's up in line for an NXT Championship title match, as him and Ethan Page picked up the win against Trick and a returning Bubba Ray Dudley. And of course, Devon Dudley making an appearance here as well. The Dudley boys reunited in the ECW arena. But like we said, this show, it was about the ladies. And we got to talk about that tremendous 10-woman tag match main event to close out this show. Holy crap. With Fatal Influence teaming up with Roxanne and Cora Jade and just going up against that all-star dream team of Stephanie Fakur, Julia, Delta version 2.0. I'm going to just keep calling her that from now on. Damn it. I'm going to continue. That's a thing, by the way. You can clip that. I'm going to make that a thing. Of course, that's right. Jordan Grace and of course Lilani Jordan. But dude, that 10-man tag was like solid, going back and forth and back and forth. Love the main event. And how about Delta getting the pinfall against Roxanne? Looking like she's setting herself up in line for the next challenger for the NXT Women's Championship. But you also have Stephanie Fakur who can lay claim to that as well. Julia's owed a rematch. Like, Roxanne, I'm telling you, girl, I think your days may be numbered here as a women's champion. But what did you think of the 10-man or the 10-woman tag to close out the show?
It was mass chaos in the best absolute way possible.
Oh yeah.
Man, like it is just that roster. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but it's so deep, and
oh yeah,
it's like it's so talented. It's like it's hard to predict which direction we're going in, honestly.
Oh yeah. Like I say, this show was incredible. And another match we got to mention too, that Wesley Javon Evans match was incredible. Of course, got to see Rob Van Dam involved. Matter of fact, that match was so damn good. It's our match of the week here on PW60. I know that you were salivating at this one, buddy. You love your high flyers, and these two guys are easily probably the best high flyers going in NXT. And when you get one of the greatest high flyers of all time, one Rob Van Dam involved in this one, I don't think it gets much better than that, does it, my friend?
No, it doesn't.
Of course you have your toy. I love it. So, well, like I say, this episode of NXT was just loaded from top to bottom with tremendous matches and fancy storylines, and of course, seeing a lot of the ECW originals. However, I mean, it was only a 2-hour show, so you could only get so many originals on the show. That being said, we got to thinking here at PW60, like, okay, what other originals were they missing that they should have booked? And of course, you know who we had to turn to. Our good close friend, the Best Scout Machine. So let's go to the Best Scout Machine.
Is this thing on? Yes, P-Dub City, it is I, the BGM. And this last week, NXT was on Wednesday at the ECW, the famed ECW arena. But sure, you had the Dudleys pop up, you had RVD, but there's some other ECW alum that should have been there. Philadelphia's own Chilly Willy should have been there. Everyone remembers Chilly Willy. He's from Philadelphia, and possibly Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and possibly Detroit, Michigan. Sure, any Yahoo will remember Taz, but the real ones remember Roadkill. Everyone loves Roadkill. This new generation would love Roadkill. They would find him sensually satisfying. Hack Myers should have been the first name that came to your minds, Shawn Michaels. Shame on you, for everyone knows about Hack Myers. I have posters of Hack Myers. Oh, I have dreams about Hack Myers, along with dreams about that evil gout. Oh, it plagues me. Oh, you poor handsome fool, let me help you. Come with me, Gout, and I will lead you to other Gouts, in an army of Gouts. Father? No, I'm Mustafa Gout. Here, take my hand, and I will show you to other Gouts. This is Cool Runnings on VHS, Gout. Yeah, man. I'm just kidding, I'm not Jamaican. And this is Bailey's Ass Gout. And finally, Tree Gout. Well, why isn't he saying anything? He's a tree, you idiot. I hope this was educational, my son. I thought you said you weren't my father. I'm not calling you my... God. Oh, for the love of God. But I'm done here.
Oh, yes. Michael Bay would produce something amazing like that, would they not? Would he not? Thank you so much, Best Gout.
Indeed.
We do appreciate you, buddy. We love you. And yeah, he made a good point about some of the originals. And man, this Gout universe, I tell you, it just gets trickier and trickier each week, doesn't it? I don't know what to expect. Gout tree? Gout tree?
Yeah. Just keeps growing. I did
No
not
pun
know
intended.
There was Mustafa Gout. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we also mentioned Wednesday night. It was the Wednesday Night War. Let's talk about Dynamite from this past Wednesday, and a great show. Of course, kicked it off with the Hurt Syndicate, really making their official presence known in AEW. And it does look like we're going to get a Swerve Strickland Bobby Lashley matchup at Full Gear, which that's going to be amazing. Also, tremendous tag team match with the well, I guess we can't call them the Blackpool Combat Club anymore. We're calling them, with its official, the Death Riders, going up against Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. Had that fight without honor with the Learning Tree going up against the Conglomeration. It was fine. I'm just tired of Jericho. And then, of course, the continuation of Romper Stomper Moxley.
I was like, it's like, why do I love everything that like Big Bill and the Bad Apple Brian Keith are doing? But I'm just like,
don't like
Jericho.
I'm
just go away.
Go on tour full time with Fozzy or something. I don't know, bro. Adam Cole picking up a win against Malachi Black. Interesting. That's the first time Adam Cole's ever beat him one-on-one, and a lot of people talking about that exchange afterwards. Once again, alluding that Malachi Black's done with AEW. How many times are going to have that damn discussion? Like, he is still locked into a contract. He's not going anywhere, folks. But I did love, like, the Brody King trolling online about that. Of course, we got a tremendous moment there with, or a segment there with Christian Cage, which I just, the whole Hook feud, I don't know how I feel about that. I love me some Christian Cage, but And then, of course, can't forget about Mercedes Moné trying to commit vehicular homicide on Chris Statlander. Can't forget that, right, B-roll? Fucking Mercedes.
That's one way to put it.
Speaking of the ladies, though, Jamie Hayter in action against Penelope Ford in a tremendous matchup. But let's talk about that main event. The Don Callis family of Kyle Fletcher and Takeshi going up against Ricochet, and it was a mystery partner. Well, we found out that partner just so happened to be a returning powerhouse. Powerhouse Hobbs is back in AEW looking like $1 million. Of course, kind of like, getting some revenge against the Don Callis family because they kind of left him in the dust, so to speak. Not really after he got hurt. So it was great to see him. And the way the show ended, we got the return of your guy, Will Ospreay, and seems like all signs are pointing towards an Ospreay Kyle Fletcher matchup, perhaps at Full Gear. So yeah, overall, Dynamite was fun.
That, or I would say maybe a multi-man matchup. Who knows?
Or tag match, because we had the juiciest ass in the business. Mark Davis was in the house too. So, and by the way, he has been cleared to wrestle. Yeah, we gotta get that juicy ass on the card. You know it, brother. That's ratings. But overall, Dynamite, a solid show from this past Wednesday. And the real winners of this past Wednesday night, folks, I think you know who it was. The real winners was us pro wrestling fans, because both shows were awesome, regardless of which side you want. Like, don't pick a side, just fucking enjoy wrestling, damn it. Can't stress that enough, especially. But anyways, I digress. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw this past week, which was from Saudi Arabia. But it was still a pretty good show, I will say. Of course, kicking off with Liv Morgan, we had that surprise little battle royal to determine the number one contender for Liv Morgan's championship, which it now looks like Io Shirai is going to challenge for that championship. So that's pretty cool. Also, we've got the War Raiders were in action against the New Day as that story continues to develop of whatever the hell's going on with the New Day. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. What do you think of the Wyatt Six, like the video package that played where they pretty much like kind of was like, nah, we don't want to do anything with Final Testament. We're just here for you, Miz. And how it all adds up with all the shit Miz has done to them. It's like the Miz is fucked, bro.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Yeah, I love the video, like the tape over his mouth and everything. It's just good stuff.
There's a tremendous matchup with Chad Gable and Dragon Lee. Love that matchup. But that main event was awesome, man. A number one contendership for the world title with Damian Priest going against Seth Rollins. And of course, Dirty Dom and Sheamus were in the match. And there was moments where I thought, holy shit, Dominic's going to pull this off. But Damian Priest picking up the win and is now going to get a rematch for his world championship against the Ring General. And I'm here for it. I'm excited to see that. I think it's the right call.
You love your little bisexual Undertaker.
I love bisexual Undertaker, just like everybody else does, my friend. But Raw, even though it was taped and from Saudi Arabia, it was a pretty solid show, man. Not gonna lie. But as great as that was, we gotta talk about Friday night, baby, and talk about SmackDown. As you talk about cinema, brother. That's exactly what SmackDown was. It was cinema. You talk about developing some storylines and moving them along and moving the needle. That is exactly what happened from this past Friday night. First and foremost, we got to talk about this image right down here. The OG bloodline reuniting once again. This show kicked off, and it didn't look like it was going to happen. And then they had the ceremony for Solo at the end, and Solo was teasing that Sami Zayn was going to join to them, as they've officially challenged them, or the OG bloodline and this new bloodline, for War Games. Yes, as we all knew, we've been talking about for months. And then of course you get the reveal where Sami saves Roman at the end, and it looks like we're kind of on the same page again here. This OG bloodline against the new bloodline. What are your thoughts, man? Because I got to tell you, this moment right here where they all raise up the ones, goosebumps.
Exactly. Man, I just, when they want to tell a story, gosh darn it, they're so good at it, of how like they weave it in, in throughout the week, right? I mean, we saw it on Raw, we saw it on SmackDown. It's just like I feel like as if, we're Royal Rumble's gonna be here before we know it. WrestleMania's gonna be here before we know it. Like, we're already starting to put our foot on the gas pedal. Like,
but I think Survivor Series is going to be extremely important, though. It's like, I look at it this way: Survivor Series is kind of the bookend on the end of this crazy year that has been the WWE in 2024, and then we move on to the next season, if you will. So it's like the season finale of Survivor Series almost, bro. Some good shit, pal. Speaking of drama, we got to talk about this. What about Randy Orton getting taken out by Kevin Owens with a pile driver? Now it looks like he's going to be on the shelf indefinitely. I would assume Cody is going to be infatuated now with taking down Kevin Owens, and perhaps we're going to see that rematch maybe at Survivor Series. I would be under that assumption, but I have enjoyed thoroughly the Kevin Owens heel turn. Like Kevin Owens works best as a heel. I love KO, man, but him as a heel is just like that's his best work. So looking like that's kind of where we're heading with this. What did you make of the whole KO Randy stuff?
You know, when he was being carted out like that, I kept replaying in my head when Triple H was like, "I'm trying to protect you."
Right?
You know,
yeah.
Kept playing through, like.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more, my friend. And then we had a big tag match with the women's tag champions, Jade and Bianca, going up against Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. And speaking of tag matches, we had a couple important ones in the tag team division as Pretty Dudley went up against DIY. And of course, the champs themselves, Motor City Machine Guns, going up against A-Town Down Under. And that being said, I think that's a perfect segue into this next segment because our tribal queen Bree is going to have a lot to say about that because that's like her old team and her new team going at it. So that being said, let's go to Bree with our tribal queen tidbit of the week.
Well, hey, hi, hello, guys. It is your tribal queen Bree with your tribal queen tidbit of the week. And Friday Night SmackDown, what a show! Because you had the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, my favorite team now that they are in the WWE, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. They kicked my former favorite tag team's asses, completely demolished them, knocked them out of the park. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. While I am still a fan of Austin Theory, and I'm still gonna await his face turn at some point, whether it's years down the road, but in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy the Motor City Machine Guns kicking their asses and making Grayson Waller look like a fucking asshole because I don't like the guy and he's just not it. No. Okay. That was it. Yay, go Motor City Machine Guns. That was your Tribal Queen Bree with your Tribal Queen tidbit of the week.
Oh, thank you so much, Bree. And like we said, SmackDown was a tremendous show, but man, we forgot. We got to talk about this. This was a tremendous moment on SmackDown. The new women's, that's right, the Women's United States Championship was unveiled, and it looks like we are finally getting that mid-card Women's Championship that we have been desiring for so long. And I got to tell you, B-Roll, this belt right here may be one of the sexiest belts I've seen in a long time. I like this more than the men's United States Championship. I like the way this one looks.
Yeah, you could take that belt out to dinner. I mean, it's that nice.
It's been nice. Been nice. But man, I'm so excited for this. I would assume Raw is probably going to get like an Intercontinental Women's Championship or something of that nature. There has been some inkling of some rumors, potentially a Netflix theme title, which would much rather have it be an Intercontinental title. But anyways, this right here, this is beautiful. Like you could insert that meme from like, TikTok and stuff. This right here, this I like because this thing is awesome and what it stands for. A lot of people talking too, like, okay, who's going to be the first women's champion, the United States champion? I know some people have mentioned Bayley. Some people have even thrown Charlotte Flair's name out there, and I got to be honest, respect to them, but I think the first champion should be someone who it's going to like help project their career tremendously and give them like a stat like that nobody else would be able to say. I mean, let's face it, Charlotte and Bayley have accomplished so much in wrestling. Do they really need to be the first U.S. women's champion? No. You put that belt on like a Meechin or like even a Tiffany Stratton or something like that, and it's going to be of more importance in my opinion. So, but I'm excited to see this. Excited to see Chelsea Green. How could I forget? Chelsea Green would be a perfect first. And could you imagine the celebration? We would never hear the end of it too, and I'm here for that. But yeah, seriously though, I'm excited the United States Women's Championship is out there, and I cannot wait to see who becomes that first champion. Well, B-roll, big week over on Impact, TNA Impact this past week. Because we saw some tremendous matchups, some tremendous moments as well. But kicking it off with Masha Slamovich teaming up with Jordan Grace to go against Tasha Steeles and Alicia Edwards, of course, the former partners, Alicia and Masha there. We got to see Rosemary against Wendy Chu in a no DQ match, and as that friendship has finally ended between those two, unfortunately. What did you make of Joe Hendry's concert on Ryan Nemeth? It was very short-lived.
He's Nick Nemeth. He's Nick Nemeth's brother.
The end. Oh shit, man. But the big moment coming out of Impact from this past week is that X Division Championship with Speedball Mike Bailey defended against Moose, and it was a phenomenal matchup, back and forth. Moose picking up the win and is now your new X Division champion. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that makes him a Grand Slam champion now in TNA wrestling. So congratulations to him, and of course that match was so great. It had to be our match of the week here this week on PW6. Or I'm sorry, Moose is our wrestler of the week this week here on PW60 for such a tremendous win for him. But I want to talk about the end of this matchup too.
Yes, the match was so good though it was almost match of the week though.
It was almost match of the week. Yes, very close. This close. But what about it, man? At the end of the night, Trent Seven turning against Speedball, man, hitting him right in the nards. And it looks like that friendship, that partnership is now over. Kind of a little heartbreaking, I'm not going to lie, man. Poor Speedball.
It is. But, like, as we have been lucky enough to see them both, and the match they're going to have.
The match is bonkers.
Against each other.
I still say that's one of the matches of the year. Honestly, when we first saw that in what was it, in Kentucky where we're at, I believe. Yeah, I forget wherever we were at. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's and obviously, assuming we're going to get a match again, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I can't wait to see that. But congratulations to Moose. Like I say, he's now become one of the most prolific wrestlers in TNA wrestling now. So, and I think I've always been a big fan of Moose. I don't care what anybody says. So, Moose, I'm all about Moose Nation.
I still don't like him or the system.
Yeah,
I don't like either.
Oh, that's all right. You're not down with the system. I get it. Well, we mentioned this last week at the close of the show. Kenny Omega did return at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Power Struggle from last weekend, and he officially announced he will be returning to in-ring action at Wrestle Dynasty. Little unexpected. I didn't see the opponent coming, though, because it looks like he's going to be going up against Gabe Kidd, who confronted him after the night's activities there. So that's going to be a huge match for Gabe Kidd, and that just shows you how far they're wanting to push that guy. It's going to be great to see Kenny back in the ring, and I got to tell you, bro, I'm a little scared for Kenny because that's a pretty rough matchup to come back to because Gabe Kidd is fucking vicious, man. Like he does not hold any punches.
I think he is certifiably insane.
He's a wackadoo, dude.
Yeah. I remember one time my nephew was here and he got infatuated with when I was watching New Japan. He was just like, it it was like during like the best of Super Juniors or something, and he was like just, when they were Gabe Kidd was throwing like, people through chairs and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Kenny, I mean,
Kenny, be careful,
you
buddy.
are the best. You are the best. You are the best bout machine, but don't die.
You're gonna have your hands full there. Come at Wrestle Dynasty. Speaking of Wrestle Dynasty, we also know that Zack Sabre Jr. or potentially, or actually no, this is a non-title match, so we do know it is going to happen. Zack Sabre Jr. to go up against Ricochet, as Ricochet challenged Zack Sabre Jr. and showed up in a shocking fashion at the end of Power Struggle after Zack Sabre Jr. had retained his championship against Shingo Takagi. So we do know Zack Sabre Jr. will be meeting Ricochet one-on-one. Will that be for the IWGP Championship? Now, that we don't know. We're going to talk about that here in just a moment. But let's talk about the rest of the potential Wrestle Dynasty matches that we do know of, other than those two. It does look like we are going to get a Jack Perry a matchup at Wrestle Dynasty. As he did a jump. I think he may have jumped Shooter, I want to say. But it does look like he is going to be having a matchup, as well as it does look like Takeshita will be in action as well at Wrestle Dynasty, as he will be going up against Shingo Takagi in a champion versus champions matchup, or a potential champion versus champion matchup, as Shingo is your never open weight New Japan champion. But Wrestle Dynasty, it's going to be tremendous. January 5th, as we know, CMLL, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Stardom all involved in this show. But it's the Tokyo Dome. It's January. We got to talk about their biggest show of the year. It's Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome. Had to do it. And I am so excited for this because our Wrestle Kingdom 19 main event is a match of a lifetime for who I've been saying for over a year now, I think is the next Okada, the next big star in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's getting his first Tokyo Dome main event. Shota Umino will challenge Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP World Championship. This is a tremendous opportunity. This is the first of the Three Musketeers that we are truly seeing in a Tokyo Dome main event. My question to you, B-Roll, can Shooter pull it off? Because
I think he can definitely pull it off. Now, I have to sit here and think that this is New Japan, though, and
they love their slow builds.
They love their slow builds. But I honestly think it's Wrestle Kingdom. It's your biggest show of the year. We need to march into the future, I think. And this is nothing against Zack Sabre Jr. because I love Zack Sabre Jr. But if Shooter wins this, it elevates him so much.
Yeah, but I will say this, if Zack Sabre Jr. wins this, it elevates him too, because I believe I'm correct in saying this. Of course, you can always leave us a comment, correct us if we're wrong here, but I do believe if Zack Sabre Jr. walks out of Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom 19, still IWGP champion, he will be the first ever Gaijin to walk out of a Wrestle Kingdom main event successfully defending the championship. Because if you look at other guys in the past, Kenny Omega, Jay White, Will Ospreay, all those guys when the spotlight was on them in the last match of the show, they couldn't get it done. So there's both a lot on the line for both of these young men, and I also think this is just the start of what could be a tremendous rivalry. I'm pulling for Shooter, but I have a feeling Zack Sabre Jr. is going to walk out still IWGP champion. Also, too, there's the looming video that we got to see from Jon Moxley that he's going to send a mercenary to Tokyo Dome, apparently. Not sure what that's all about, but we're going to find out and see. But we also have some other matches we could officially announce for Wrestle Kingdom this year, and there's some great ones here, bro. First off, and what I would assume maybe a semi-main. You got David Finlay defending the Global Heavyweight Championship against another one of the Three Musketeers, Yoto Tsuji, getting a big matchup with David Finlay at the Tokyo Dome. I love this one too, and a matchup for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Doki will defend against El Desperado. And rounding out the Three Musketeers, we got Ren Narita defending his television championship against Rio Oi and Jeff Cobb. But this one I want to talk about, man. This four-way for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship. Holy shit. This is a throwback to days of old. I imagine this is going to be what the kicks off the show. But Kushida and Kevin Knight defending their championship against the winners of the Junior Tag Tournament, Robbie Eagles and Kozuya Fujita, as well as you got TJP and Francisca Akira. And, of course, former champions Clark Connors and Driller Maloney in this one. Dude, that's going to be loaded. And there's going to be more Wrestle Kingdom matches to come. Yeah. I do believe I thought I read somewhere that Tanahashi was going to be in action as well at Wrestle Kingdom. So I could be mistaken, but stay tuned in the coming weeks of PW60 as we learn more about more matchups that are going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom. Which I'm so happy just to say we're on the road to the Tokyo Dome, man. Love it.
Yeah, that tag match is going to be nuts.
Oh, dude, for real. Also, this past weekend, the Fighting Spirit Unleashed card took place here in the States. With a tremendous show out of Lowell, Massachusetts. Some big-time matchups and some happenings happened here. First off, the Grizzled Young Veterans defeating the Mighty Don't Kneel to win the Strong Openweight Tag Team Championship. So congratulations to them. You had a tremendous one-on-one matchup with Leo Rush and Mustafa Ali. Also, we got to see a four-way match to determine the number one contender for the Strong Women's Championship, which is currently held by Mercedes Moné, as Hasuki defeated Anna Jay, Kojima, and Trish Adora. And she is now your new number one contender for that. So expect that to probably happen at Wrestle Dynasty, I imagine. I mentioned Shoto Umina. So him and Tomohiro Ishii defeated the Mighty Don't Kneel. But there was this mysterious video from Jon Moxley saying he's a little disappointed in Shooter. Shooter pretty much more or less told him to fuck off. So this is going to be interesting. I'm assuming that's for something for Wrestle Dynasty. And, of course, Takeshita picking up a win against TJP. But, yeah, man, New Japan, this is the best time of year if you're a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, I'm telling you, as we are on the road to the Tokyo Dome, baby. Well, that being said, I think it's time we spice things up a bit here on PW60. Let's go to Spicy Guac with a spicy taste.
Seriously, though. Carlito, Carly, he needs a singles run. He needs a singles title. Even if it's speed. Well, just something. He needs something because the man has talent and he's cool.
Ah, interesting. Well, looked like they were going that way, and then those comments from a couple weeks ago may be hurting him, but we shall see. Let's talk about the rest of AEW from this past week as we had Rampage take place this past Friday night. Pretty good show, man. Kicking it off with Karashita going against Viva Fan, which it's always great to see Viva Fan on AEW television. It's also great to see Beef on AEW TV as he was teaming up with JD Drake going up against Top Flight, which I dig that team. Had a tremendous three-way with the Undisputed Kingdom going up against the Infantry and the Dark Order. And Leo Rush and Commander met in a rematch. I got to tell you, dude, Rampage has kind of been hit or miss. I know if you look at the ratings, which fucking stupid-ass fans do, who gives a shit, it's good, solid wrestling. It was a fun show. What can we say? Let's also talk about Collision from this past Saturday night as well. Of course, we got to see the Outrunners defeat Top Flight. Sorry, bro. I know that's your team, but come on. The Outrunners are on fire right now, and they are now going to compete at Full Gear. And I believe it's their first pay-per-view, on the main card, as they will challenge for the AEW Tag Team Championship with some other teams to join them. So happy for that, too. We got to see Roderick Strong in action against the Beast Mortos, picking up a win. Now he just needs one more win, and he could potentially get a match with MJF at Full Gear. We also got Chris Statlander was in action. Jungle Boy Jack Perry going up against Action Andretti. And how about the Nick Wayne AR Fox match? But then at the end there, where they took the freaking photo of AR Fox's dad and stapled him, like a revenge from like almost a year ago when they did that, when AR Fox did that to him.
Yeah, talk about holding a grudge.
No kidding, right, bro? But and then of course we had that tremendous main event for the Trios Championship with the Death Riders defending against the Conglomeration. Got to see Mox and then Orange Cassidy come out and all this leading up to Full Gear, which is just a couple weeks away. And let's talk about Full Gear. Solid show so far. We know Orange Cassidy will challenge Jon Moxley for that AEW championship. Speaking of championships, Mercedes Moné to put up her TBS title against former champion Chris Statlander. We also now know Jack Perry will defend the TNT title against Daniel Garcia. Got some tremendous rivalry matchups here with Hangman Page going against Jay White and Bobby Lashley presumably making his in-ring debut against Swerve Strickland. But the one the wrestling world's talking about, the one that will likely main event the show, it's not going to be on the pre-show. Big Boom AJ, one of the Costco guys, making his in-ring return to go against QT Marshall. That's what Full Gear is all about, my friend. That's what the people are talking about. That's the money matchup, am I right?
True story. I mean, you heard Shadow. I mean, she's pumped for it, and
she's ready, bro.
Ready for it. She's ready to bring the boom.
Can I get a big boom, bro?
Boom!
Boom! Let's go. Oh, God, what have we come to? Oh, Lord. Speaking of AEW, it was announced this week, too, that their kickoff party for All In Texas will take place this upcoming Wednesday from Arlington, Texas. Of course, I believe the tickets go on sale officially for All In Texas this upcoming Wednesday, so that's going to be excited. Hard to believe we're already like talking about All In, which is coming to us, I believe, in July next year, right? But man, it'll be here before you know it. Isn't that right, Shadow? Oh,
yeah.
And
she's very excited.
Speaking of AEW and trademarks, recently AEW filed a trademark, which I love this, for the term Parade of Champions. Now, for us longtime wrestling fans, we're familiar with that as World Class Championship Wrestling. Many, many years ago, used to run their annual Parade of Champions show, which was like their WrestleMania of World Class out of the Texas Stadium. So looks like that'll be coming to AEW. Not sure what they're going to turn it into, but I'm just glad to see some acknowledgement because World Class Championship Wrestling is always going to be one of those promotions that, in my opinion, didn't get nearly as much love. So cool. It was cool to see. Well, my friend, it's that time of the show. We need to go a good friend, one Husky Rhodes, as he's got a hot take for us.
What up, PW60? It's your boy. So this new WWE ID thing, very, very interesting concept. I'm digging it, to be honest. The fact that they grabbed like Jack Cartwheel, which was crazy. I'm very interested to see who else they grab. So I've got a question mainly for you guys. What independent stars would you like to see in this WWE ID program? Personally, for me, I really think I dig the Jack Cartwheel thing. I kind of even want to see like Gringo Loco get picked up in this. I think that would be awesome. Also, having Timothy Thatcher as one of the trainers for it, excellent choice. Boys, what do you think about this?
Oh, thank you much, Husky. And he brings up a good point. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. Although I will say I don't like how we're already calling Jack Cartwheel Jack Summit. But that goes with it could be worse. They could give him a gimmick of being a aerial like circus guy or something. I don't know. But what do you think of WWE ID so far? Because I know there's a lot of fans on the fence for this, and I totally get it. But what do you think of the ID program so far, and some of the stars that's been announced?
Yeah, it's real interesting. I can say this. I feel like the stars that have been announced, at least the ones that I've known of. I mean, they're definitely very deserving of it.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Real quick, let's run it
Really,
down real quick. You got Bryce Donovan, who works a lot in Wrestling Open. You have Cappuccino Jones from This Is Wrestling. Of course, we mentioned Jack Cartwheel from GCW. Also, another GCW alumni getting called, Marcus Mathers, which I love him. He's an amazing talent. You got from International Wrestling Grant Cartel, Sam Holloway and Sean Legacy, who works in who's worked in Noah before. And then on the ladies' side of thing, we have a very popular talent. Just saw her recently on GCW, by the way. I believe it was I'm gonna butcher her name, Soraya Sakir, from Millennium Pro Wrestling, and then from CCW you have Seda Steele. So some interesting names so far, I think.
yeah. I think we're just gonna have to see how it all shakes out,
Mm-hmm.
and like because we don't know what it means that they're a prospect now, right? Like, are they
Yeah,
still
so
working
I have a brief
independent dates?
understanding. I believe it means like they're still encouraging him to work with other indie companies, but I believe if a contract is offered to them from a competitor, like say an AEW, for example, then WWE has the right to not allow that contract to happen. It is what it is, right? Now, if it
Yeah,
happened in TNA, I think with that friendship there, I don't think it could be too of it. I don't know. I don't know. Like you say, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I mean, here's the thing: there's so much going on in the world of independent wrestling. We always talk about it here, week in and week out. There's so many different competitors out there. So, like, I mean, there's enough room for everybody to eat at the table. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Speaking of indie wrestling, it's that time of the show. Let's go to our good friend Michael with an indie report.
What up, yo? It's your boy MJ Duplessis, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, with another independent wrestling report. First off, we have Ashe Wrestling having their first anniversary show December 7th in Charlotte, North Carolina. All tickets and information for that event at AsheWrestling.com. That is ASE Wrestling.com. Secondly, we have Prestige Wrestling presents Roseland 10, January 11th. etix.com/Prestige Wrestling for tickets and information on that. And lastly, we have Prestige Wrestling, or Oblivion Wrestling, December 14th at the Nisqually Middle School in Lacey, Washington. Tickets and information for that at oblivionwrestling.com.
Well, there you have it. There's just some of the independent shows. We encourage you to check it out. And like we say, go and support your local independent wrestling company because you never know. You may be seeing the next big WWE prospect there. Well, we mentioned earlier in the show the New Day. We're going to touch on them because it appears that we are going to get a New Day themed episode of Monday Night Raw coming up here in the next couple of weeks. That's going to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the New Day. B-roll, the way this has been going, I'm a little scared. Do you think this could potentially be the end for the New Day? Because Xavier Woods just got his ass kicked by like a 10-year-old kid at like a Street Fighter tournament or something. Now he's taking it all on Kofi and Big E.
I'm gonna say one thing. It's one thing. He probably will turn on Kofi.
Yeah.
If he tries to hurt Big E,
oh, we're coming for you. We are coming for you, Woods. We got problems. We're gonna throw some hands. So, but I will say this: I think this is just as much as I love the New Day, they need a fresh coat of paint. They've needed a fresh coat of paint badly the past couple of years. So if that's what it's going to take with this, then let's see what happens here with the New Day. But we'll find out here in a couple of weeks on that Monday Night Raw episode. Speaking of Raw and SmackDown, it's officially come out. Motherfucker. that both Raw and SmackDown is going to be moving to 3 hours. Son of a bitch. Just when I thought we were going like 2 steps forward and 5 steps back, now we're going to have to watch both these shows for 3 hours with a god-awful amount of commercial breaks. I understand why they're doing it, but I am a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. The old man in me is like,
us, yeah.
I'm enjoying Monday Night Wrestling getting over at 10 p.m., but I guess enjoy it while you can, folks, because come January, we're going back to 3 hours, so we'll see what happens there. And then also, speaking of Raw and SmackDown, it was announced that the Road to WrestleMania European Tour will take place all this March, as they will be doing both SmackDown and Raw live throughout Europe all throughout the month of March, which I think that's exciting. And also, too, for Netflix, it appears that the Raw shows will be aired live. So that means it'll be like at 2 in the afternoon while we're at work. So we'll catch a replay. It's okay. It's Netflix. We can Netflix and chill. So, but that was a big announcement coming out this past week for about Raw and SmackDown. Also, on some news of pro wrestling, it does look like one Carl Anderson did have some surgery done this past week, so he is going to be out for a little while. We here at PW60, we want to wish him well. We love you, Machine Gun, and I hope you recover real soon and get back in the ring, my friend. And Jake Hager's a fucking asshole. He can take his hat, shove it up his ass. He made some comments this week showing how much of a fucking asshole he is. Guess what? You and Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon can all go fuck yourself. That's the end of the report. See you later, Jake Hager. Go fuck yourself. Also, this week, it came out that one Jacob Fatu apparently had already issued an apology, and monies had been figured out between him and the charity, where unfortunately he could not work a show, and it was due to like a family emergency. So y'all quit canceling Jacob Fatu. Everything's good. It's all taken care of. Just love Jacob Fatu, just like Jacob loves Solo. I love you, Solo. But I'm so happy to hear this, and just we can finally debunk this and put this on the back burner. And oh baby, this is right in our backyard, baby. Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers teased that he may potentially B-roll. He may be making an appearance in the Royal Rumble, which is in our hometown, our neck of the woods, Indianapolis, coming this February. I'm gonna pop huge if Tyrese comes out. What do you think? You think? And part of me as like a Pacer fan is like, oh fuck, like just make this like very limited, because like we got a lot of potential this year to win a championship. Yeah. What do you make of Tyrese?
Which I mean, speaking of Royal Rumble, I mean tickets go on sale this week.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I like the involvement, but if you're gonna get involved, please just don't get hurt.
Yeah, just be safe, Tyrese. But this just completely came out of the blue, completely random. Speaking of random, let's go to Brian with Brian's Random of the Week this week here on PW60.
Hello, PW60 peoples and family and all that stuff. We're like one big family here, not like a workplace. They say, we're one big family. It's like, shut up. No, you're not. Hi, boom, there it is. Brian's House Random. All right, get that out of the way. Cool. Yeah. So back again, been a little bit. Good to see everybody. Hope you missed me because I missed you. If you didn't miss me, I don't blame you. All right, so time for the random moment of the week, and back to our What If series about wrestlers leaving companies. And I want to go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling and the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. And what would have happened if he had never left New Japan Pro Wrestling? Now, he's had a pretty decent career in WWE, been NXT champion, tag team champion, US Intercontinental champion. Nice career. Should have been world champion by now, especially when he had the real hot streak in 2016, 17, things of that sort. Vince's booking of him, of course, early on, not that great, not been featured a lot, things like that. So I want to know, what would have happened if Shinsuke never left New Japan Pro Wrestling? Let's say he was still there today. How many more times would he have been the IWGP Heavyweight Champion? What else in his career, feuds, all that good stuff? So there you go. And do me a favor, follow, if you haven't already, follow all the fellow content creators here that make up the PW60 crew, like Wolfpack back in mass destruction or something like that. Yeah. So there you go. Enjoy the rest of your week and your Monday and PW60 and all more of that. Something. Cool. Sounds good. Bye.
Oh, Brian, we love you, man. And I got to tell you, dude, that may be my favorite random question he's done so far. That's a crazy question. Like, because if Nakamura stayed there, I think he definitely would have got multiple IWGP championships. But then there's the question of, would have Okada got like as big of a run? So
Yeah,
who knows, right?
My first thought,
well, leave us a comment.
What happened to Okada?
Yeah, leave us a comment and let us know here. But Brian, we love you, and you know who else we love here at PW60? We love our content creators. And this week, our PW60 wrestling content creator of the week is one Deborah Deans 8. Now, she has a fun series. She does wrestling in 60 seconds. So we do it in 60 minutes. She does it in 60 seconds. Deborah, God bless you. I don't know how you do it. But seriously, she's got some great viewpoints, some interesting takes, and also has a YouTube channel you can follow as well. So if you're not doing so, go give Deborah Deans a follow because she's our Ruby Ringside Wrestling Content Creator of the Week this week here on PW60. And we did find out some new shows that will be coming to us. Of course, NXT's Deadline will be coming Saturday, December the 7th. And it's going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I guess that's your prize you get because you didn't get WrestleMania, and you got to wait 2 years for SummerSlam. I'm sorry.
I feel
sorry,
like they just keep trying to make it up to Minneapolis.
It's like you're not going to. You give them a Mania. It's Mania or bust, baby. But this potentially would be the last big event of the year for WWE, other than the Saturday night's main event that they're hyping up. But yeah, that'll be coming to you Saturday, December the 7th. So excited to see. This is definitely going to be the last big show of the year for NXT, which is on fire right now. And also this week, it was announced that the Elimination Chamber will be taking place Saturday, March 1st from Toronto, as WWE will be returning back to Canada, which Elimination Chamber has always been a fun show. It's that final show before the big one, the granddaddy of them all, WrestleMania. So, and Toronto's a great crowd too. So I'm excited for that, to see that. That'll be a dope ass show. And yeah, it's the last one before Mania. So we'll see what happens. And our last story this week here on PW60 is a good one. So happy for this. We have a new All Japan Triple Crown champion, and it is none other than Davey Boy Smith Jr. We want to wish him congratulations. He's had a long, illustrious career, of course. Obviously coming from one of the greatest wrestling families of all time, the Hart family, the son of Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, and Diana Smith Hart. So picking up his first major world championship, and that All Japan Triple Crown championship is legendary. I mean, that's one of the all-time great titles in Japan. Some could even argue maybe the greatest championship in Japan. So congratulations to you, Davey Boy Smith Jr. You truly deserve it, and I'm excited. We're excited to see where you go from here, my friend. Congratulations once again to Davey Boy Smith Jr. Well, my friends, somehow we've talked about everything that happened this past week in the world of pro wrestling. And we got a lot more happening this week as well as we continue on that road to Full Gear. We're on the road to Survivor Series now. There's always so much going on. Can't wait to see what's in store this upcoming week in the world of pro wrestling. Well, I'm Xlj the Og, and this is Mr. B-Roll, of course, and we'll see you next week. Another episode of PW60. Everybody take care. Have an amazing week. Bye!